So I'm sure we've all heard about breath work, right? For me, breath work is actually more about allowing the breath to do the work. So I'm I'm also sharing conscious connected breath work, and I feel like this is an absolutely beautiful modality to loosen your grip on the way you think things should be. I feel that with this breath work, we are able to access deeper layers within inside ourselves, as well as without even doing anything, just bringing our awareness to the breath and creating this conscious connected breath work where we stay connected, where we almost start to create a circular breath with inside our being. This breath is absolutely effective in the way that it cuts through the layers, it cuts through the BS. And I feel like we can do years of talk therapy and we can do years of all these other modalities, but with breath work, we're working with the body, and it's a bottom up approach. So we use sound, which will be actually, with that, we'll be including the sound off headsets, which will be an experience that maybe you haven't ever had in your life. And I think that with the breath work in kind of synergistically with those headsets, it's going to be an experience that will blow your mind, literally. And so that's what we intend on doing in these gorgeous spaces. We've explored some of the spaces here at Namboa, and I can honestly say it's some of those settings are so sacred, and also that these settings will be sorry, bro. So yeah, there's so many benefits to breath work, right? I think that also what can happen from the past is you can have stored trauma in the body, and I feel like there's so many beautiful healing modalities, but specifically with conscious connected breath, it's not necessarily about forcing or fixing. It's just about allowing the breath to do the work. And I think that when we bring our awareness to the breath, it kind of creates an anchor, especially if we've got a very active mind, and we're very identified with that story in our minds. I think breath work really allows us to tap into the innate wisdom of our bodies, and then also to be able to release things we didn't even know we were carrying, to be able to release those things from our body. As an example, if someone starts to cry during a breathwork session, it's a massive energetic release of potentially things that happened to them in their past. Also, what I love about the breathwork is that we are accessing our highest intelligence. And what does that look like? Well, we work towards a peak, and once we drop off that peak, once we've done that kind of 40 minutes of breathing, after that, then your innate highest intelligence comes forth. And that's where you get messages about your life, the direction you're going, what you need to change. And I always say that once you get those messages, that's the highest timeline for you. When you can incorporate those then into your life and your daily life, that's where you really make change. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely profound. And as I mentioned before, we use these beautiful headsets called sound off headsets. That's to bring in the sound, and then obviously the narration with the actual the guided breath work. And then also we'll be bringing in some movement, some somatic exercises, some other different flows into that process. Maybe even having a jam together, that's also really beautiful, just to shake off the energy, and also to celebrate this life, right? Look at where we are. This has been mind-blowing, the space that we're in, and the sacredness that is here. I feel, because I've owned a retreat center for the last 7 years, I know in my heart that even people immersing in this kind of environment are starting to heal. Why? Because we're so distracted in our lives. We've become, we can't sit with ourselves for even 5 minutes. And we've got this voice in our heads always telling us, different things. So coming into this space, in this silence, and being capable of being in this space and then being guided by loving souls, I think it will be a great, great gift to anyone who decides to embark on this journey with retreats in the wild. I think it's going to be, awe-inspiring. I think it's going to be mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing, when your mind actually is blown and you come so much into your heart that all that you see is love. And you recognize also that, you recognize that the love has never been outside of you. Never. The love is who you are. Your true nature is love. That unconditional love that a mother has for her son, for her baby boy, that same love is within you. And don't you think it's about time to discover that love inside yourself? So you too can make the biggest difference on this planet, that you can also change lives. What a gift that will be. What a gift.